Hello, hello, hello. Hope everybody's doing well. What a week. What a week it has been. There will be lots to talk about. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to Courtesy Call, the podcast where I rant about politics, world affairs, and societal issues. I am your host, Scott Perry, and it is Sunday, June 27th, 2021, and summer is in full effect. It's been beautiful out. Many are enjoying the beaches, restaurants with outdoor seating, bars, clubs, sports and entertainment events, amusement parks and trips, all the good stuff that comes with the summer season. Oh, yeah. I know for me, it's been mainly beaches lately, sporting events, camping. Also running a couple of road races from a road race series. All the wonderful, wonderful stuff. As a matter of fact, after this episode, I'll be heading up to Vermont to do some camping, which is another of my faves. So, I hope you guys have been enjoying all the wonderful things out there as well. Hope your summer has been full of a lot of fun and are able to finally get out there and have some fun for the first time in probably months. So it's feeling very close to normality right now. It really is with things returning back to normal. So get ready. It's going to get better and better, right? Better and better. This week could be a little bit better. This past week has been, it hasn't been really low key. It's been a very interesting one. One of the big things going on, and let's see the headlines, is this past week's voting rights bill. Yes. The bill that gives us our constitutional freedom when voting and makes elections fair and American failed to pass the Senate. I'll talk about that later in this episode. We'll also be talking a little bit about the corrupt, delusional colleagues of the Republicans out there doing their thing, kind of ruining the country's constitutional rights. Things are very, very lopsided right now within the government. As we have known, it's been that way for quite some time. So, buckle your seats. It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. But yes, I'll talk a little bit later about the Voting Rights Act and how the Republicans are looking to ruin our constitutional freedom. Let's see. Also in headlines, in humorous news, I find this pretty humorous, and you should too. The former guy, I'm sure we know who I'm referring to, is asking federal officials, and get this, to tell SNL cast, the cast and crew of Saturday Night Live, Jimmy Kimmel, and other late-night show hosts to stop making fun of him. Aww. Is Trump's feelings hurt? Did his feelings get really, really hurt? Aww. That's too sad. That's too sad. I mean, does he not like being made fun of? Does he not like that people tease him and call out his BS in a humorous way? Oh my. I had no idea that Trump was against that sort of behavior. I guess he always has been about respecting people and not being rude and crude to anyone in humorous ways, right?
And we'll get some of these regulators out of the banks so you can borrow and you can help. Because, the banks now, they can't do anything. They're run by the regulators. In all fairness to the banks, they're run by the regulators. When you see the president of the bank, I mentioned the word regulator, these guys come in, they run the banks. And I watched a general recently on television, and they said to him, what do you think about ISIS? Oh, ISIS is very tough. And I'm saying, first of all, why is a general on television? I don't want my generals on television.
I heard Ted's a good debater. I said, he is a good debater, but he can't talk, okay? Bad talker. He's a good debater, bad talker. So he's over here. They asked him about waterboarding. They said, Senator Cruz, what do you think of waterboarding? Oh, I don't want to talk about it. He didn't want to talk about waterboarding because too controversial. And I'm saying to myself, they're chopping off heads. He doesn't want to talk about waterboarding.
A couple of good paragraphs It's talking about northern New Jersey draws the prober's eye. Written by a nice reporter. Now the poor guy, you got to see this guy. Oh, I don't know what I said. Oh, I don't remember. He's going like, I don't remember. I thought, well, maybe that's what I said. This is 14 years ago. They didn't do a retraction. 14 years ago, they did no retraction.
Interesting. I guess not. I guess he's just a big fat hypocrite, just like his Republican colleagues, right? I mean, it goes both ways. I'm sure that's a different kind of story for the former guy. I'm pretty sure he's thinking of other things, but it goes both ways. You dish it out, you get it. And I'm sorry there, Trump, but you kind of deserved it. I mean, after what you did to this country and the irresponsibility and just the stupidity that has cost us a lot of things. So I think it's fitting that he gets made fun of. I think it serves him right. And I also think it's within the rights of the cast and crew of Saturday Night Live to make fun of him, as well as Jimmy Kimmel, Steve Colbert, Jimmy Fallon, James Corden, even Conan. I support all the late night show hosts, to make fun of Trumpy Trump for all of his wrongdoing. So, even Craig Ferguson. I'm a big fan of Ferguson. He's good. He's good too. So him make fun of him. I think all of them should make fun of him. So. In other humorous and well-fitting headlines, former mayor of New York, Rudy Giuliani, got his law practice license revoked and canceled out, meaning he's no longer allowed to practice law or represent anyone in the state of New York. This was a result, of course, of him supporting the big lie, as we know what the big lie is, and him running amok pretty much all over, not just New York City, but all over the country with these court hearings of claims of the big lie. As you know, voter fraud supposedly occurred in the election, blah, 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 all that stuff. And, wasted a lot of people's time, money, and caused a lot of disruptive behavior during the process. Of course, the state of New York, amongst a lot of the states here in the United States, didn't take too kind to that and decided to say, okay, you're done there, Rudy. You can practice law in other states, but in this state, you're done. No more practicing law, no more causing issues and causing a lot of nonsense. So good for the state of New York. I'm glad that some justice has been served, some further justice has been served from the horrendous effects of the big lie. So I think, I think more states should follow. I think more states should ban Mr. Giuliani from practicing law in their state and causing issues. I think there should be other people held accountable who are also attorneys, should have their law license revoked as well. Anybody who represented Trump during the whole shenanigans should be banned from representing in other states. But I know there's some states out there that still, support Rudy and the Trump posse. Mostly those out in the Midwest and down south. A lot of them down south do. Those Republican red states. It's fine. It's fine. You can be singled out. You can be the minority that supports delusions and political rhetoric and nonsense. The rest of us here in the United States will continue to do justice and do what is right and what we feel is fitting. Other than Rudy Giuliani and his posse, I can tell you who else found it not fitting that he got his license revoked and did not care for that result. It was his son, Andrew, when he said this on Fox News.
Hi, my fellow Americans. Today it's my fellow Americans, not just my fellow New Yorkers. As you may have heard recently, a few minutes ago, my father's law license was suspended by the New York State First Appellate Division of the Supreme Court. Now, the 5 judges that ruled on it, Judge Rolanda Acosta, Judge Diane Renwick, Judge Sally Manzart Daniels, Judge Judith Gishi, and Judge Barbara Kaepernick. All 5 of them are Democrats, 3 of which were appointed by Andrew Cuomo. 5-0, ultimately. Democrats with 0 Republicans on there. Again, this is just unbelievable to see just how politicized all of this has become. I am infuriated by all of this, and any American that believes in an independent justice system, this is going after one of President Trump's closest allies. That's exactly what this is. And any American that doesn't believe that, they are just biased. This is unacceptable, and I stand by my father. He did everything ultimately by the book, and the fact that there would be this politicization in our Justice Department is disgusting. It is a cancer that needs to be cut out, and it needs to be cut out.
I'm just going to stop you right there, Mr. Giuliani. Yeah, the Democrats. It's the Democrats' fault. It's all of the Democrats' fault. It has nothing to do with that your father, stood by a corrupt president and was corrupt himself in promoting the big lie and causing so much drama. I mean, it had nothing to do with that. It was the Democrats, and it was Chris Cuomo, and it was all these judges' faults, Your father did no wrong. Not at all. He just wasted a bunch of people's time, wasted a lot of money again, and just stirred up a lot of controversy and caused, a government to be in a frenzy, and was one of the people who provoked an insurrection last January. But, your father did nothing wrong. He was in his means. I'm sure when they raided his apartment, last month, 2 or 3 months ago, in Manhattan, I'm pretty sure they found some very, subtle evidence. What you're going to say is more likely criminalizing evidence that he did commit some crimes, during Trump's 4-year corrupt nonsense, nightmare of presidency. So be thankful. Be thankful that having your law license suspended was the only thing that was done, because I feel that there's a lot more things that are going to happen, a lot more justice to be served with Giuliani, Trump, and his posse. So we'll see, right? We will see. So speaking of justice being served in a more serious but positive way, last Friday, former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin had his sentencing hearing for his murder of George Floyd that occurred last year in the month of May. And a lot of us, had our doubts that justice would truly be served, as history has shown that when police officers have committed heinous crimes and lewd and crude behavior out in the public and behind doors, they have received light sentences. Well, last Friday, the court showed that it's not bound to repeat that process and actually served up some justice, as Chauvin was sentenced to 22 and a half years in prison for the heinous crime. I don't know if he was granted parole or not, but still, 22 and a half years. Which is a much better sentence than what police officers have received in the past for committing similar crimes. So I would say this is a win, even though a lot of people out there disagree and believe Chauvin should have been given a much harsher sentence because of the act. But you got to take in consideration, he was a police officer. I think he served his country as well, and he did a lot of community service. So the law looks at that and gives benefit of the doubt when sentencing someone who's had that background. So yes, it's a little messed up. It's like, if you serve our country and our community, that means you can go off and just start killing people and get off lightly, right? No. But you're still going to give some benefit of the doubt. It's better to serve our country and your community than not at all, right? And you have to have some credit behind it. Not that should be a motive to serve your country and your community so you can get away with crimes easier. That's not it at all. That's messed up. But no, I think that you got to take that in consideration when you're sentencing someone with that background. So yeah, I would consider that as a win. So good for the Justice Department of Minnesota. Thank you for giving a decent sentence for a heinous crime and not, have him get off lightly. Now, there's a possibility he might get parole. He might be released early on good behavior, but it won't be for quite a long time. it looks like that as of right now, Chauvin won't be getting out of prison until probably he's almost 70. The guy, I think he's 45 years old now, right? So if you look at 22, you got 47 to 2, and then 67, about 67 and a half years old, about almost 68 years old. He'll be released, and so good for them. So there you have it. This should be a great episode for all you listeners. Let's see. I will discuss the president's infrastructure bill and the Republicans' attempt to do what is best for our country's well-being. Also, what's the latest on the insurrection investigation and the progress on that? Also, more updates on COVID-19 and the vaccinations, as well as the headhunt segment and the 2 topics of my choice. A lot of things to discuss on this episode, but when we come back, I will rant about the voting rights bill that got shut down this past week and how this is not a topic for debate. So don't go anywhere here on Courtesy Call.
Come on down to the Hop Knot at 1000 Elm Street, Manchester's premier craft beer and gourmet pretzel bar. Tell us more, Trudy.
We make our dough fresh every day. We make a variety of styles of pretzels and serve craft beer, cocktails, and a few bottles of wine. We do the traditional pretzel, and we have multiple flavors for that. We also do stuffed pretzels, pretzel sandwiches, free dessert pretzels, and pretzel knots.
The Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street.
Subarus are made for winter with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive, so you can help your friend when they break down in the middle of nowhere. Kelley Blue Book's most trusted brand. That's a Subaru.
Morning. Can I have a coffee, please?
We can do better than that. How about an acorn spiced latte?
No, thanks.
What about a nitro charcoal brew with dry ice?
Oh, no.
The charcoal purifies the soul.
Just a regular coffee is fine. Thank you.
Okay, let's talk milks. We got okra milk, we have sloth milk, and then we have fresh unicorn milk. Only $12 extra. Isn't that right, Caliber?
Whoa. I'll just do half and half. And my coffee?
Okay, but first, Fomart. Ta-da!
Okay, you know what? This is ridiculous. I just want a coffee. I'm sorry.
Why does everyone leave us?
Good morning, Mr. Sun.
Good morning, Blair.
I'm gonna grow big and strong. Yes, you are.
I'm gonna get this place all clean.
I'll give you a hand. And I'm gonna put Lisa on crutches. Wait, what?
Says she's gonna need crutches. She fell pretty hard. You might want to clean that up, girl. Excuse us.
When owning a small business gets real, Progressive helps protect what you built with customizable coverage.
And I'm gonna...
Donnie, no. Oh, my. With Chase Freedom Unlimited, I earn all this cash back? Oh, I gotta tell everyone. Hey, Rita, you can earn 3% on dining, including takeout.
Bon appetit.
Hey, Kim, you earn 5% on travel purchase through Chase.
Way ahead of you.
Hey, Neil, you can earn 3% at drugstores.
Buddy, I'm right here. Why are you yelling?
Because that's what I do. You're always earning with 5% cash back on travel purchase through Chase. 3% at drugstores, 3% on dining, including takeout, and 1.5% on everything else you buy. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Every morning, I thought I had to make a choice. Do I use a toothpaste that whitens my teeth or one that's good for my teeth? Now I don't have to choose. My dentist told me about Crest Whitening Therapy, so I tried it.
From Crest 3D White comes Whitening Therapy. It's our best whitening technology. Plus, it has a fortifying formula to protect your enamel.
Now I get a whiter smile and healthy teeth all in one.
The 3D White collection from Crest. Healthy, beautiful smiles for life.
Oh, just one.
Jake from State Farm, it's the least I can do. You really did me a solid with that, Maya markdown on my insurance.
Here's the deal, Maya. State Farm offers everyone surprisingly great rates.
Right.
No, really, there are no markdowns, just great rates.
Pull her home back in 20 minutes. I'll hook you up with the good parts.
When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Welcome back, everyone, to Courtesy Call Podcast here on IPMNation.com. For those who are just joining us before the break, I actually went into some hilarious headlines involving the other guy, former President Donald Trump, and how he's throwing a temper tantrum and crying over late night show host and late night primetime cast and crew making fun of him. After all these years that we've been making fun of him for the past 3 or 4 years, he's now had it. He's now had enough and is looking to probably drop a lawsuit, but definitely threatening late night show host to stop making fun of him, as well as the cast and crew of Saturday Night Live. So I kind of went in a little bit about that. Also, I went into the news about Rudy Giuliani's law license being suspended by the state of New York, and played a clip of his son whining on national television about it. And then I talked about some serious but positive news about the sentencing of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin, and how I felt it was a fair sentence, even though some out there may disagree. So, if you have any questions or comments about anything on this episode or previous episodes, feel free to reach out on both our Facebook and Twitter pages, which our Facebook is facebook.com/courtesycallpodcast, and our Twitter is @courtesycall4u. That is the @ courtesy call, the number 4, and uppercase letter U. And just, let me know what you think and add a question if you like, and I'll address it on next week's episode. So, do it up. All right, well, before I go into the next piece where I promote local businesses, I do want to send my thoughts and condolences to the victims of the apartment building collapse that occurred in Surfside, Florida this past week. For some of you who may not know, a large apartment building, I forget how many stories, I think it was 12 to 15 stories, I could be wrong. A large apartment building in Surfside, Florida, which is about 5 to 10 minutes outside of Miami. And it ended up giving way this past week and collapsing. One side of it collapsed, trapping a bunch of people underneath some rubble, where there was very sad, unfortunate fatalities that occurred, leaving a lot of people injured. Lots of people were injured and had to be rushed to the hospital. So, and some suffered only minor injuries. But yes, my thoughts and condolences are both sent out to those who were affected by the building collapse down there in Florida. So, all right, so now it is time for me to plug local businesses, those who've been affected by the pandemic. It could use some of your help, and I think that you would take a shine too once you try out some of their products, as I'm sure you become a big fan of most, if not all, their products. So, let's see. All right, here we go. Moe's Italian Subs, making the original since 1959, with locations all over the Granite State, including one in Dover, one in Portsmouth, and one here in Concord, New Hampshire. D-Designs, for anybody looking to get artwork done for either their website or business logo, feel free to contact Danielle Festa-Keefe at dgraphicsnh.com. That is dgraphicsnh.com. Danielle Festa-Keefe is not only a wonderful graphic art designer, she's also a wonderful painter. And you can have a chance to take a look at her work, as you can go on both her Facebook and website, both her Facebook page and website, and there's a link that you can click on where you can sign up to be part of her virtual reality art gallery. That's right. Danielle Festa-Keefe took note that not everybody is going to be able to go to art galleries or would like to, because they'd rather stay at home and be safe or stay local. So she has provided a virtual reality art gallery where you can sign up and register. I think you might have to pay a small fee. I'm not 100% sure, but you can go in there and you can register, and you can actually attend a VR art gallery. We can walk through virtual reality rooms and see actual pieces of work that she has painted and appreciate them, adore them, and show your support. So go ahead, check out Danielle Festa-Keefe on our Facebook page or D Design's website. So you can Google it, I believe, and find it, no problem. So she's from Dover, New Hampshire. And so yeah, do it up. Crawl Space Audio. If you are looking to do any audio projects, such as podcasts, or you are a musician looking to record your work, reach out to Dave Swillem at 603-275-2020. That is 603-275-2020. The Cake Fairy Bakery, located at 110 Old Londonderry Turnpike Road in Hooksett, New Hampshire. They have wonderful baked goods, such as cakes, pies, dessert logs. They have cannolis as well. But what they're best known for, in my opinion, is their eclairs. If you love eclairs, you're going to love this place. And if you think eclairs are okay, you're definitely going to appreciate them more, as their eclairs are a good size. They make a wonderful custard. It isn't too sweet. It's just the right amount of richness that you would want from a custard. And the cream is the same way. The topping, the cream topping on top, oh man, it's very decadent, very rich, but not too sweet, and very dense. So it's a very good eclair. So check it out. Cake Fairy Bakery, located at 110 Old Londonderry Turnpike Road in Hooksett, New Hampshire. And you will be glad that you went. Speaking of bakeries, Clem's Bakery, located at 29 Indian Rock Road in Windham, New Hampshire. They also serve wonderful baked goods, such as cakes, pies, eclairs, cannolis, cupcakes, and all the other bakery novelties out there. But what they're best known for, in my opinion, is their donuts. If you love donuts, you're going to love this place. They have all the traditional kinds, such as honey glazed, chocolate frosted, vanilla frosted. They have old fashioned. They also have your wonderful Boston cream that most places will have, which is one of my favorites. But what they're best known for, their best donuts, in my opinion, are both their chocolate and vanilla cream, which is a yeast shell. It's a filled donut that's cut in half and has very decadent but not too sweet vanilla and chocolate cream. It's amazing. It's amazing, and they're made just right, nice and soft, nice and squishy a little bit, and yeah, everything you'd want from a yeast-filled donut. So yeah, check them out. It's definitely not worth missing. And that is Clem's Bakery, which is KLEMMS Bakery, located at 29 Indian Rock Road in Windham, New Hampshire. So do it up. And support local businesses. All right. So, for some of you may know who've been following the headlines this past week, one of the big headlines was the Voting Rights Bill. The bill to protect our voting rights and to stop mainly Republicans, the Republican officials in Congress, from ruining our constitutional right of voting. As you know, what happened this past election, it came down to just a couple of states, one of them being Georgia, which when the former president claimed the big lie and promoted the big lie, Georgia was mainly targeted, and a lot of Republican officials in Georgia agreed with the orange fungus of a president and decided to try to hurt our democracy, hurt the Constitution and our rights by coming out with a bill that would change the way elections are conducted and the way they are performed and done for us U.S. citizens. So it would change the hours of the polls. It would also change the style and the fashion that we could vote and all the etiquette that goes in with voting, which pretty much leans to one direction. it pretty much favors those of the right, the conservatives out there, the nowadays conservatives. And it pretty much makes things uneven, puts a lot of weight on those who are liberal and vote extreme left. So, it's definitely unconstitutional, and Biden administration has been trying to fight it to make sure that Georgia does it good, and other states have been trying to follow with this. But again, the Biden administration has been trying to kind of prevent this from happening, which it got shot down as they, like I said, they created a bill to prevent, this from spreading throughout the country from, this damaging of our constitutional right, to go from other, just a few states to other states in the United States. And it was a voting rights bill to make it so it was fair and to even out the biased bill that the Republicans have came out with. And, it didn't go so well. The vote for this bill was at a party line style and came down to the wire of just 50-50. Originally, I believe, was 49-50, and then Kamala Harris decided to break the tie in the Senate and make it 50-50. The voting for the bill was mainly conducted within the Senate, so Vice President Harris's vote to make it 50-50 did not break it either way. It just made it even, so it pretty much cancels out and fails to pass because it has to be a majority. It can't just be at 50-50 and that's it. No, it has to be at a majority. At least, if it was at least 51-50, like it was 50-50 to begin with, and then President Harris put her vote in to make it 51-50, then it would have passed. But 50-50, it gets automatically declined and shot down and does not be put into law. So still fighting, still pushing to bring equality, not just within race and such, but also within our rights, trying to prevent the far right from damaging our rights and hurting our Constitution more than they already have. And so we're going to keep pushing, and hopefully the Biden administration can come up with another bill. I don't think this is going to completely go away. I think they're going to make some edits on the bill, continue to undergo some negotiations, and try to convince some other Republican senators to give into this bill, other than those who already have. I know that Ben Sasse and Liz Cheney have been, kind of siding with Democrats on a few bills. I don't think this was one of them. I think they were completely all for the right and all for the Republican side on this one. So, but maybe they can work something out and talk up a few figures here and there and a few things here and there to kind of get this thing to pass. Because there's no way that we should allow our voting rights to be attacked. This is not okay. This is not okay. This is our country. Things need to be fair and constitutional and within our rights. We can't let Congress, specifically the far right, damage that. So we need it to be fair for the next elections to come, and we need it to be constitutional. So this is all retaliation, by the way. Keep in mind, this is all retaliation because Trump did not win. He's a sore loser. He's a big sore loser, and he can't handle the fact of losing. He's admitted it on national television several times. He admitted it, I think, the night of the election began. I think that he admitted it. He's a sore loser. Members of his posse are sore losers. His team of people are sore losers. His supporters are sore losers. All of them who support Trump in general are a bunch of sore losers. And this is how they're going to retaliate. They want to make sure it goes their way next time, that's not how it's done. It's done by the people. It's not done by you crippling people from voting. It's done by keeping it fair and having it be conducted fairly and have the people vote fairly who they believe the leader should be. And they did that. And the guy who deserves the spot and who is a great fit as president is in the seat right now as we speak. Speaking of our wonderful president, President Biden, Let's talk about his infrastructure bill. That is, I believe he said they reached a deal. They reached an agreement with. For those who may be left in the dark, as you know, we just suffered a massive impact from a pandemic that's still technically going on. And financially, this country suffered big, not just with, health-wise, also financially. And our infrastructure has been damaged. And so some funding needs to be replenished and some accounts need to be, need to be taken care of. Because we need infrastructure for this country to run smoothly and healthy. And our wonderful president, Mr. President Biden, had passed an infrastructure bill that will put money into building roadways, bridges, help conservation with forests and other, vegetation out there. He also passed an infrastructure bill for funding to help those in state agencies to keep running, hospitals to keep going, Department of Labor, Department of Education, schools, restaurants, even some small businesses and other businesses and companies and organizations out there that are vital and are very important for this, to this country, to make sure that they are financially well off. Well, he said they reached a deal, and it's looking like it's going to be for spending. And it's roughly around $500 billion, it looks like it's going to be. And like I said, it's going to go to all the government agencies that are looking to help, repair some roads, vegetation, even our ocean life and our environment in general. Also, it's to help the Board of Education, hospital, medical, government agencies, restaurants, small businesses, pretty much almost everybody, every organization and company out there is going to be benefiting from this, and every facility, organizations, and companies will be benefiting from this. So this is a great thing. I'm glad they reached a deal. I'm not sure when it'll officially be put into law. I don't think it has been signed by either party or either side yet. But this is good. I think this is good. Also, I think the fact that he's looking to go green, and this also enables and makes it easier for us to go green, in the near future, hopefully, is great for our planet. Because our planet's being demolished right now through fossil fuel and a lot of toxic air waste that's being injected into the atmosphere, causing our atmosphere to be severely imbalanced, and causing our planet to parts of our planet to deteriorate. So we cannot have that. So the infrastructure bill helps back that up and helps open a gateway and a pathway for the mission to go green. So this is a great deal. So let's hope that there's more progression on this this coming week and the weeks after and the weeks to follow, and hopefully able to officially pass this thing. That'll be fantastic. All right, now it is time for me to give all you listeners updates, the latest updates on COVID-19 and the vaccinations. So these numbers are pulled from yesterday, which was Saturday, June 26, 2021, and are as follows. So currently, here in the United States, we have a total of 33,581,464 total cases here in the United States, with sadly and very unfortunate 603,370 deaths. That's very unfortunate. Worldwide, it looks like there are 180,489,456 total cases worldwide, with sadly and very unfortunate 3,911,225 deaths worldwide. Here in the Granite State, it looks like we have 99,403 total cases, with sadly and very unfortunate 1,371 total deaths. So very sad, very unfortunate. Have you noticed the cases have gone up? Well, the cases are going to continue to go up as people are going to continue to socialize after they've been vaccinated, as it has been announced and made clear that if you are fully vaccinated, you are free to go mingle and hang out with your friends and folks and socialize, be part of social gatherings and social events out there, such as sporting events and whatever and whatnot. However, if you are not fully vaccinated, you are advised to still take health and safety guidelines and health and safety precautions, wear a mask, social distance, and wash your hands and all that. If you're fully vaccinated or not fully vaccinated, you should always wash your hands. You should have been washing your hands before this pandemic even began. You know, let's all be clean here, not dirty and gross, right? But yes, I mean, if you are fully vaccinated, you are safe. You are good. You have nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about if you're fully vaccinated. Those who are not fully vaccinated, you should be worried. You can not only contract the virus, but you could suffer the full harsh symptoms that come with it, and be sick for weeks, or may have to be rushed to the hospital. Who knows? But all I know is that there's a new variant out there, or the Delta variant that's lingering around. You don't want to trifle with that. You don't want to catch that. I heard that's the most harsh variant is the Delta variant. And it is not just circulating throughout the United States. It's circulating throughout the globe. And you do not want to catch it unvaccinated or not fully vaccinated. You don't want to catch it while you're not fully vaccinated, because you could suffer the full harsh symptoms and effects from that, be sick for weeks, and possibly be rushed to the hospital. So get yourself fully vaccinated. It's the most sensible thing. It has been proven and shown that the vaccines can handle the Delta variant. So it does well against the Delta variant. So if you catch the virus, you'll suffer low to minor symptoms, mild at the very most, and should be protected, with the vaccine. But if you're not, you should be very, very worried. So, yes, the numbers are going to continue to go up, though. The numbers of cases are going to continue to go up. Yeah, you shouldn't be worried. Remember, you should not be worried completely. Remember, if you are fully vaccinated, you are protected. It's the ones who are not fully vaccinated are the ones that should worry. So, if you see the numbers go up, don't panic. Just think, how many of these people are fully vaccinated versus those who are not? So take that in consideration. So, speaking of the vaccines, let me give you the update on the vaccinations. How many vaccinations there have been both here in the United States and worldwide, and here in the Granite State of New Hampshire. So like I said, these numbers were pulled from yesterday, which was Saturday, June 26, 2021. And they are as follows. So here in the United States, there have been a total of 321,199,379 total doses given. Total doses administered. With a total number of 151,615,554 people who have been fully vaccinated, which gives it about 46% of the U.S. population have been fully vaccinated. So, that is an increase of about 512,174 doses, which is good. I'd like to see the number increase a little bit higher than that, especially here in the United States. We are actually one of the states at the bottom for the most vaccinated and the most sufficiently vaccinated. All other countries, most countries have been fully vaccinated. They at least reached the 75 to 80%. But us, we're still slacking because of people being hesitant to getting their second dose because of reports being made, of it doing, crazy things to your body, which a lot of them is conspiracy. A lot of these claims are conspiracy. Some of them are just, have some truth to them. A lot of them, some of them have truth to them, but a lot of them are conspiracy theories. And the ones that are true is that, people are going to have certain, you're going to have some allergic reactions, some percentage, even if it's like below 1% and below 0.1% of people are going to have some sort of allergic reaction to it. A lot of these people had past medical history of severe illnesses that they were obviously well aware of, but they continue to get vaccinated still, thinking that it was going to do them well when they were told repeatedly not to, and they continue to do it anyway. So that's what happened with that. The most common side effects reported from people are, you'll get a headache, you may feel fatigued, you may feel a little nausea, may discover a little bit of dizziness, you might get a little bit of a stomach ache as well, but, those are like mild symptoms. It's a very, very mild level of symptoms that you will discover, and experience. So, get yourself vaccinated, get yourself fully vaccinated so you can be protected from all these variants and the pandemic in general, and be able to go out and do things without damaging your health really, or severely. So get yourself fully vaccinated so that way you can help protect the community. Keep in mind that if you are fully vaccinated, though, you still can contract the virus, of course. And you can still spread it. So if you're around people who have not been fully vaccinated, please be respectful, wear a mask around them or keep your distance from them, and, make sure that you don't contract it or transmit it to someone else. Okay. Just be respectful and mindful, with that. So, all right. Well, that's the updates on COVID-19 and the vaccinations. Just like I said, there's a lot of options out there. You should be able to find a place near you where you can receive the vaccines. I mean, they've taken down, I think at the end of this month, I think Monday or Tuesday, there will no longer be these state facilities in full function to administer the vaccines. I think you're going to probably have to look at like grocery stores, I think, and some medical offices will still administer the vaccine. So, it's not too late. You're still within time. Just check out your local grocery stores, look them up, or your local medical offices, and they should hopefully have it available for you to get your shot and get your doses. So do it up. All right, well, we're going to take another quick commercial break. When we come back, it'll be the Headhunt segment and the 2 societal topics of my choice. Still more to come here on Courtesy Call Podcast.
Come on down to the Hop Knot at 1000 Elm Street, Manchester's premier craft beer and gourmet pretzel bar. Tell us more, Trudy.
We make our dough fresh every day. We make a variety of styles of pretzels and serve craft beer, cocktails, and a few bottles of wine. We do the traditional pretzel, and we have multiple flavors for that. We also do stuffed pretzels, pretzel sandwiches, free dessert pretzels, and pretzel knots.
The Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street.
Coming in to get a deal that includes existing customers. He's probably 5'8", but we'll give him an even 6'1". It's this guy!
Wait. Did I just hear existing customers can get a deal?
Yep, at AT&T, new and existing customers get our best deal on all smartphones.
That's pretty great. You think I look 6 foot?
I sure do. Kind of.
It's not complicated. Only AT&T gives new and existing customers the same great deals on all smartphones. Get up to $800 off our latest 5G smartphones.
Building a better bank starts with looking at something old and saying, really? So Capital One is building something completely new. Capital One Cafes. Inviting places with people here to help you, not sell you. And savings and checking accounts with no fees or minimums, because that's how it should be. You can open one from right here or anywhere in 5 minutes. Seriously, 5 minutes. This is Banking Reimagined. What's in your wallet?
This Bud Light Seltzer lemonade is packed with lemonade flavor.
Yeah, it even has more flavor than my grandma's lemonade.
She still lives here, right?
Yeah, it even has more flavor than grandma's lemonade.
Oh, no.
Guess her hearing is better than we thought.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade. Packed with more flavor than Grandma's lemonade.
Does your plug-in fade too fast? Try new Febreze Fade Defy Plug. It has built-in technology to digitally control how much scent is released to smell first day fresh for 50 days. La 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 la.
Tasha, did you know Geico could save you hundreds on car insurance and a whole lot more? So what are you waiting for? Hip-hop group tag team to help you plan dessert?
French vanilla, rocky road, chocolate, peanut butter cookie dough. Scoop this, scoop this, scoop this, scoop this, scoop. Shakalaka, 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 shaka, scoop. Shakalaka, shakalaka, shakalaka.
Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you could save.
The greatest stories don't have to end. If we do this, we're gonna do it our own way.
They can expand,
Evolve.
connect each generation
To the next. The stories continue. Only on Disney Plus.
Right now, get free delivery on any order from the Popeyes app. That's any of our favorites, from our crispy chicken to our signature sides, straight to your door. So put those feet up and get ready to feast.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Welcome back, everyone, to Courtesy Call Podcast. For those who are just joining us, before the break, I went into a little bit about President Biden's infrastructure plan and how it is a wonderful thing, that it is looking like it's going to get passed into law officially. There has been a deal reached, and hopefully it will circulate throughout Congress and be signed officially into law in the near future. I also talked about our voting rights being under attack, and there was a bill that was put into play about a week or two ago to help counteract what the Republicans have been trying to do, damaging our voting rights and such. And that bill was shot down this past week as it was in a party line vote that was only at 50-50 even, which pretty much shot that down, as a bill needs to be at majority in order to pass through circulation and into law. So a 50-50 party line vote is not going to cut it. If it was 51-50, that would be a different story, and most likely would be passed into law, and it wouldn't be such an issue. So, but a 50-50 would automatically shoot the bill down, and it will be turned away. But I think Congress, especially the Biden administration, is looking to come up with a new proposal, do some negotiation, and hopefully, come up with a new proposal to make things equal and fair for our elections, as our voting rights cannot be damaged or hurt in any way or for any fashion. We gotta abide by the Constitution, right? I also gave out the latest updates on COVID-19 and the vaccinations, and clearly stated, like I have been for the past few weeks, that the numbers have gone up. They have been going up, but you shouldn't be worried if you're fully vaccinated, as you are protected from suffering the severe symptoms if you were to contract the virus. You would experience low to mild symptoms at the very, very most. And those who are not fully vaccinated should be worried, as you will suffer. If you contract the virus, you could suffer the full effects, the full symptoms, and could be sick for weeks and possibly maybe even be rushed to the hospital. So it's definitely wise to get fully vaccinated, as the vaccines will handle all the variants, including the newest and the most harsh one, the Delta variant. That's right, the vaccines do well against the new Delta variant, which is 60% more contractable and severe. So you should be still safe from that if you are fully vaccinated. If not, you should be worried, and you should social distance still, maintain health and safety precautions, wear a mask, social distance, wash your hands, and keep yourself and everybody else around you safe. So that's that. If you have any questions or comments about anything that was discussed on this episode or previous episodes, feel free to reach out on both our Facebook and Twitter pages, which our Facebook is facebook.com/courtesy call podcast. And our Twitter is @courtesy-call4u. That is the @ symbol, courtesy call, the number 4, and an uppercase letter U. And feel free to post any questions or comments you may have, and I'll address them on next week's episode, which will be episode 24, and will air on the 4th, which will be Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. So at 10 a.m. on IPMNation.com. So do it up. So I hope all of you are enjoying your weekend, or what's left of it. I know that the weather does not look too bad out there. It looks quite nice outside. I am going to be enjoying some of that. As a matter of fact, after this episode, I'll be heading up to Vermont for a few days of camping in the town of Waterbury. Going to do some hiking, enjoy some scenery and the weather. I'll be hitting up the Von Trapp Brewery in Stowe, which is one of my favorite breweries here in the Northeast. I'll have some beer and grub there, which is I always enjoy. So it should be a good time. We look to do this at least once or twice a year. Head to Vermont and do a little bit of camping and check out the area. So yeah, should be a good time. Oh, and I hope you all are getting ready for the 4th of July next week. Getting ready for the 4th. I hope you have plans in place, to spend time with your friends and family, have a barbecue, play some games, have a few drinks, and watch some fireworks to celebrate Independence Day the right way. To do it the right way. I know for me, my lady and I will be heading over to one of her relatives' house in Henniker for a backyard barbecue and pool party with her folks for most of the day. Before heading to Manchester to enjoy a ball game with some friends and a nice firework display to follow after that. So I cannot wait. Should be lots of fun. Summer is, in fact, one of my favorite seasons of all the 4 seasons we have here in New England. So good stuff. Good time of the year. All right. Now it is time for the Headhunt segment. And for those who are not familiar with the Headhunt segment is, who are listening to this episode for the very first time, haven't listened to previous episodes, the Headhunt segment is, this is where I go on social media outlets. I go on Facebook pages or Twitter pages, and I find articles that have been posted from trusted sources, such as major news networks and such. And I look for questions and comments that people have posted that I felt either weren't answered or misled and could use more substance. So, yeah, so without further ado, here we go. And I usually pick up around 3. I do about 2 or 3 of these. Safe. So, let's see. This is on CNN's Facebook page, and one of the news networks that I trust the most. Gives out accurate information, and this one's about Amazon, the e-commerce giant Amazon, and it's an article that was posted yesterday morning. And a gentleman by the name of Tyler Hamilton has worked at Amazon warehouse in Shakopee, Minnesota for 4 years. He shares the good and the bads about the fast-paced job. Just talking about inside of Amazon and how it is working there. And a gentleman named Keith commented that he worked at Amazon for 3 months, and to him, it wasn't that hard of work. It was just boring standing there scanning and packaging. Which, you know, I've known some people that worked at Amazon. I know some people that still work at Amazon, and that has been the case, that there's a lot of standing around and just, you know, very tedious one action type of work. Like you're just either putting a tag on something or scanning a package or just putting peanuts into a box or something. It's very simple but tedious work. But on the other hand, some of the other people I know that work for Amazon know that I've shared that it is very fast paced and it can be critical hard work. It all depends what department you work for, just like any other job. Any job out there is going to have their departments where it's, you know, easy, you know, not that critical, a little tedious, but simple and, you know, not hard to manage and to perform. And then you're going to have those departments where it's critical, on the go, fast paced, quick thinking, you know, very crucial. And you're going to be like moved around everywhere. Yeah. So it all depends what department you work for. And it's not just Amazon. Like I said, there's other jobs that are like that. Most jobs are like that. So, so your experience, thanks for sharing that. But it looks like that this guy named Tyler Hamilton, he had a lot of work to do because Amazon is, I believe, the biggest distributor of goods at the moment right now. They are outbeating warehouses out there. They're outbeating the department stores such as Walmart. They're beating Target. They're beating most mall outlets. Most of the shopping that is being done is through e-commerce, and the number one e-commerce company that is getting the business is Amazon. No shocker. They hired more employees, of course, and they have lots of drivers out there. I don't think you can drive within 3 to 5 miles and not see at least 1 or 2 Amazon trucks. So they're everywhere. But yeah, it is on high demand. They are very busy, and they're one of the leading companies in the world right now. With their owner, Jeff Bezos, who will be going to space soon, has a net worth of about near 200 billion. I can't believe that's coming out of my mouth. Just to say that seems unreal. 200 billion. 200 billion. Wow. And over 150 in revenue in the last 4 to 5 years. Unreal. So that's a good share. And let's see. What else can we find here? All right. So this is found on MSNBC's Facebook page, which is another major news network that I trust to give factual news and accurate news. And they posted an article yesterday afternoon, and it says, I think it's about the DOJ's election lawsuit. So I think it has to do with voting rights. And it says, Chris Greiner, Attorney General Garland, intends to use what's left of the Voting Rights Act to full extent possible. And the article title says, Opinion. DOJ's Georgia election lawsuit is a warning shot to the Scotias. So yes, and a woman by the name of Pierce Morales, this is a gentleman, a gentleman by the name of Pierce Morales, just commented, Trump rally in Ohio tonight, emoji, American flag, emoji, praising hands, emoji heart, and a GIF of Trump dancing, his embarrassing dancing from last year. So, I take it that he is a Trump supporter, of course. It seems like he's a Trump supporter. And he's happy because he feels like many other Trump supporters feel that Trump is making a comeback somehow. Like he's coming back. He's going to become president again in 2024 or earlier. As he posted, or as he announced, 2024 or before. He thinks he's going to be reinstated, which I don't think I've ever recalled, or most people have been around for at least 30 to 50 years have ever recalled a president ever being stated. I don't think a president has ever been reinstated. I don't think that's a thing. I don't think a former president can be reinstated without going through the election process. I don't think that happens. So, another delusional thoughts by the former president who may not be eligible in 2024. I was going to say earlier, when I was talking about him, that he barely stands a chance. He's being investigated right now for a lot of tax fraud and financial fraud. He's also being looked at for other criminal activities, including sexual harassment and sexual misconduct that happened about 10, 20 years ago. So he has a lot of charges he's facing. He's going to court for, be investigated, and it's not looking very good for him. So for him to be running in 2024, I think his chances are very slim. It's looking very slim at the moment right now. It's looking like it's nothing more than delusions to think that he even could be eligible to become president by 2024. And I think this is all wishful thinking because, again, Trump supporters are delusional, just like Trump's posse are delusional. They're delusional people that are sore losers who can't handle results and facts, that if things don't go their way, it is absolute false. And it's all fake, it's all been rigged, it's all been messed up. It can never lose legitimately. And when they do, they blame everybody else. They talk a lot of nonsense, they make a lot of promises because they want to be a force to be reckoned with, even though they have no credibility and really nothing to go on. They just have nothing. All they do is just hawk lies. That's it. Those are Trump supporters. Delusional punk lies. So, okay. So that's that. All right. So the other source I'm going to look up an article on is from WMUR News 9's Facebook page. For those who are not familiar with who WMUR News 9 is, for those who live here in the Granite State, it's our major news network. It's our major news source here in the state of New Hampshire. So, with that being said, so here is an article that was posted yesterday that I find kind of interesting. It was yesterday afternoon as well. And it says a new study found that drinking this many cups of coffee a day was associated with lower risk of liver disease. Decaf drinkers were found to have benefits too. So this is about coffee, and nothing political. It has something to do with coffee, and it shows that there's health benefits to drinking coffee, and it can help lower your risk of liver issues. So, I think the number of cups, I think they say is 5. If you go more than 5, you are now crossing the line because everything in moderation, right? And even though, you know, decaf drinkers will benefit too, don't forget decaf coffee still has caffeine in it. It's because it's decaf, like decaffeinated. Doesn't mean all the caffeine's completely gone from it or it has no caffeine whatsoever. It still has some percentage of decaf. It's just like beer. Or like any alcoholic beverage. Like they say non-alcoholic beer, non-alcoholic this, but still has some percentage of alcohol in it. So you still can get caffeine that way. It's just a very low amount. But any more than 5 cups can be hazardous and cause issues. But anything that's less than 5 cups, 5 cups or less, is beneficial to risk of liver issues. So that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. And, it wasn't really political. I found that kind of interesting. It was kind of a neat article. Nothing really to do with politics. So I'm going to do one more. I'll do one more because, like I said, that wasn't really politics. It was, like I said, it was just a fun fact. I thought it was pretty cool. But here's something that's absolutely political, and it has to do with the sentencing of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin and, him being sentenced to his 22 and a half years. And it was an article that was posted yesterday morning on WMUR News 9's Facebook page, and it says above it that since he was convicted in April The former Minneapolis police officer sentenced in George Floyd's death has been held at the state's only maximum security prison. And the article title reads that now that Derek Chauvin has been sentenced, where will he serve his time? And a woman by the name of Suzanne commented underneath, it's nowhere near done, nor should it be. One conviction is nothing, and he should have got more time. Now we must work on making a more equal justice for black and brown lives, including all minorities and Asian and natives. There is much work to do, and all crimes should be held to accountability. Okay, there's a little bit of grammar issues there. And like I said earlier, yes. Like I said earlier, there are going to be some people who disagree with the sentence, that I think he should get more time, not just 22 and a half. And I explained earlier that he was a former police officer, and he served his country, I believe, too. I think he was in the military. Could be wrong. But he served his country, he served his community, and they look at that as well as, when they're sentencing someone, as someone who has had some good in their background. And so they tend to be a little lenient to those who have done that. So sentence won't be as harsh as if he wasn't a police officer or didn't serve his community or country at all. So, yeah, you have to take that in consideration. You have to understand that. Now, I do agree that there is much more work to be done. One sentencing or conviction and sentencing does not solve the whole issue here. As you know, there's, I think, 3 other police officers that are due to have trial or at least be convicted next year, they're saying. They're saying March of next year that will happen. And, so they're going to be held accountable. And there's that. And there's also more legislation on its way. And I think that, there is a lot more work that needs to be done to end police brutality, end systematic racism, and help, make the country more equal and help the world become more equal, not just the country. Equality is such a great thing. It's things that we should keep pushing for and we should strive for. And we shouldn't just let, issues ride on that promote racism and, inequality. So let's fight. Let's keep doing more work. Let's hope that there's more justice to be served for those who convict heinous crimes like this and who promote racism and a lot of inequality and a lot of crime, hate crime. I believe hate crime is now a crime because they passed the bill a couple months ago. So yeah, anybody commits a hate crime, they got to serve some justice. So, yep. All right, that's that. All right, so that is the end of the Headhunt segment. And it is time for the 2 topics, the 2 societal topics of my choice. Now, the first one I feel is an issue that I've experienced personally. And I think is something that I think all these listeners who are looking to buy a home, purchase a home, looking to own land, this is something you should listen to and pay attention to, because I think I have a lot of valuable information and material here for those who are seeking homes right now. I think there's still a lot of people who are still looking to purchase a home of their own. So yes, this topic is in fact about buying a home. Purchasing a home is one of the most American things you can do, other than get married and have kids. A lot goes into the process. Searching for houses, land, other amenities is part of the process for purchasing a home. Also, conducting and or undergoing inspections to ensure the home is in good condition prior to purchase. And also an appraisal would suffice to make sure you are purchasing a home at fair price and not more than what it's worth. Today, the housing market is becoming, let's just say, a little too high. It is booming. The housing market is booming. Homes and land are being purchased at an unprecedented rate. Homes are put into contingency the moment they are placed on the market. Awfully strange to happen, in my opinion. Awfully strange to happen, especially after recovering from a negative economic impact due to the pandemic. So it's highly suspicious as to how all of a sudden do these people have the money to be in good position to purchase a home. Now, I get it. I understand. You want a home. You want to live the American dream. You want to be able to say that you owned a home and you raised a family in there. And you want that part of traditional American normality. But here's the thing. You got to take the necessary steps. My lady and I have been looking around, just kind of taking interest and such. And, we have a couple of real estate agents that we work with. And they have shared with me, them and mortgage loan officers that we've talked to have shared with us that most of the people who are purchasing homes, at least here in the Northeast, are not even doing appraisals or going through home inspections. They're blowing by their prior checklist, before purchasing or while in the closing phases. And even in the negotiation phases. They are neglecting all that altogether, which is highly dangerous. I don't know if they're in this whole flipping a home kick, that people have been into lately, buying homes and repairing them and doing restoration projects and flipping them to make them better looking homes or better quality homes. But here's the thing, either way, if you neglect a home inspection, first of all, you risk the chance of missing some things that could be errors shortly after purchasing the home that you'll be stuck with. For instance, if there's a wire issue, you need to make sure if there's any wire issues, any plumbing issues, if there's any hardware issues, any equipment issues so far as the hot water tank, the hot water heaters, the electrical boxes, the connections, the cable connections, everything, all the service, all your water, your breakers, all of that. You have to make sure all that works and all that is in good condition. You also have to make sure, like I said, the wood, the walls, the quality of the structure itself is in good condition, not going to mold, not going to be eroded, not going to be against code. I mean, you don't know. I mean, and there could be some asbestos, mold in other places where it could go against health code. And you purchase the home and you're stuck with it because you're not going to have it like if you rent from, a complex or someplace, where maintenance team is available or maintenance crew is available to come over to your unit or your place and help fix some things. No. When you purchase a home, you have to do that yourself. That is all you. And you may not be afraid of hard work, but here's something you should also take in consideration. The money. It's going to be costly. If you have to rewire your house, I know people that do, electrical engineering for a job and actually, do installations of wires inside of houses. And the price is outrageous. You could spend tens of thousands of dollars out of your pocket just to have it rewired, even if it's only a couple of wires. To replace fuses, you could probably do that cheap and cost effective. But major wiring projects, not only is it that tedious to do the work, but it's also very costly. Also, if your tanks go, that's very costly. If your plumbing's gone, that could be a whole nother project and be very costly. And let's just say, your septic goes out. You have to get a new system put in. That's costly and it ruins a lot of other things. You have to get that cleaned out and repaired. I mean, to do even like a few repairs could cost a lot of money out of your pocket. And you'll be broke and barely have a well put together house because you neglected to do a home inspection and bought a house not knowing if there was any issues with it, and you screwed yourself. And now, like I said, you're caught in a predicament. You could sell the house at that point if you're stuck in that sort of bind, but you're not going to get the same amount of money back as you paid into it. You're going to lose some money either way. So, and you might be like, well, that happens, but other people, there's people out there actually doing appraisals, and that's what I'm going to move on to next, is the appraisal portion of it. There are people who probably, bought a home, did not do all the inspections or all the contingencies, and neglected them, and found out that there were some errors after purchasing the home, and got stuck with a little bit of some issues, and got put into a little bit of a bind, and now want to sell their home and want to get rid of it and start off fresh, which they are discovering you can't just start off fresh. You're going to lose some money either way. But there are sellers who are selling homes, as it's a seller's market, selling homes well above than what they're worth. And it's a lot of people not using their heads that are buying these houses. And to find out if you are purchasing the home at the right value of what it's worth, and the listing price is reasonable, not the right price, you need to do an appraisal. You need to have someone that knows what they're doing. If you are well educated in appraisals, go for it. But you need to have a professional who has a license and who knows what they're doing to do an appraisal on your home. So that way you know how much it's actually worth, or how much the home you're looking to buy is actually worth. And you're able to negotiate effectively, knowing the actual value of the property. To speed buy a home, to buy it without even doing anything, at the quickest pace possible, is very stupid. It's very stupid. You think you know some secrets, you think you know some hacks, you think you know what you're doing, and you're going to make a good deal on stuff, and you're actually cheating the system, or getting by the system, with a shortcut, but you're really not. You're really not. You're doing very stupid things that may get you a home quick, but in the long run is going to screw yourself. I want you to look back when you buy a home prematurely. For these people who buy homes prematurely, I like them to, when they realize that they have screwed themselves, to look back and be like, what did I do wrong? Oh, wow, I should have done the appraisal and the home inspection. And that's what's so stressful. It's because other people who are responsible and in the position to buy a home are having a hard time finding a good home, because they have people who are not in a position to buy a home getting loans by having other people sign off as under co-signing a loan for them, or having someone who actually is in good position taking out a loan for a group of people who are not eligible or good to buy a home, still having their name put on the deed, but the person who's in good financial condition takes out the loan. But not everybody has the money to pay. And they only look at the home. They don't look at their debts completely, or they're not honest with their debts and not honest with their information. They prematurely buy the home and they screw themselves. So and like I said, it doesn't make any sense as to how people have the money to have a down payment for this. I can tell you, majority of these people are first-time home buyers, because it's looking at the percentage that's put down. The real estate agent can't disclose any personal information, and neither can the mortgage loan officer, but they've all shared that majority of these people are also only putting down the 3%, which is the allowed rate, what most of them will allow, who are first-time home buyers. So these people have never owned a home, have no experience of what it takes to own a home, and they're going at it as if they're professionals. Because this is the era of, I have no education, but I'm going to go out on it like I do. I'm going to fake it till I make it. Make as much mistakes as possible until I succeed. Well, yes, at some point you will succeed. But if you just look at what has cost you, if you just used your head versus what it did cost you to not use your head, you're going to find out that your decision was completely stupid. Because there's a lot of people out there who are doing much better than you, who are getting houses appropriately, who are buying houses the right way, who are not in severe debt, who have a well-functioning home that doesn't have any, code marks on them, meaning nothing against code, that have a good, nice, well, healthy home with nice property and are able to handle it because they did it the right way and with less hassle, and it took them less amount of time to go through the hassles because they did it the right way. They didn't prematurely buy and kept making the mistakes and digging themselves a hole until they got themselves out, and then cost them a bunch of money. They didn't do that. So to first-time home buyers and people who are buying homes, be sensible, be patient. At times it's the ones who are patient that sit back and watch the people go at it and ruin their themselves. Those people are the ones who end up prevailing. So, and making the best out of the situation. So, all right. Now it is time for the second topic of the two topics of my choice. And this topic is a big controversial issue as of late, given that it's time for the Olympics. Olympic trials have been underway. A lot of athletes have qualified for it, which, by the way, I want to say congratulations. Congratulations to 2018 UNH track and field alumni, Ellie Purier St. Pierre, for qualifying for the Olympics as she won the Olympic trial finals, completing her 1,500 meter race in 3 minutes and 58 seconds. I'm not even kidding. Again, that's 1,500 meters, 3 minutes and 58 seconds. Ridiculous and unreal, and I believe that's a record. So, if I'm not mistaken. But congratulations once again to 2018 UNH track and field alum Ellie Purier St. Pierre for qualifying for the 2020, that's now 2021 Olympic Games for the women's 1,500 meter. So, and she's, I believe, a Vermont native, Montgomery, Vermont. So, anyway, so this second topic is in relation to this, and it is about overall transgender men and women participating in the opposite sex sport, or the sport that was their opposite sex sport. Meaning, a man gets a sex change and changes himself into a woman and becomes eligible to participate in women's sports. Vice versa. And this has been a big issue because it has been deemed as unfair as, okay, a man can turn himself into a woman, but still has the same body structure as a man. It seems a little unfair to, over-dominate women in women's sports and should not be allowed to participate in women's sports. Now, look, I understand we're becoming very open here. We're a very open country. I get it. We want to make sure we engage in equality and make sure that equality is promoted to the fullest effect and fullest extent. I support equality wholeheartedly, 110%. But I think at some point, we're just being a little ridiculous and a little overboard, going a little overboard here. You got to look at science. You can't argue with science. Okay? A big, strong man, served in the military, gets his business lobbed off and changes it to, a woman's part and grows breasts and maybe wears lipstick and hair extensions. Calls himself a woman. He's now a woman. He got the change. Now wants to participate in women's athletics, basketball, or, cheerleading, I guess, is not as bad, but basketball, volleyball, tennis, things we have to get physical. Actually, he has physical performance in these sports to compete for rewards and awards. That, I think, is where it draws the line. That's where I'm willing to draw the line and say, I think it's a little unfair because, again, a man can get his business, changed and grow breasts and have hair extensions, wear lipstick, have the mentality of a woman. but could also, like I said, will still have the same body structure as a man does, as a man, a very strong man. And it adds a very unfair advantage to physical performance in women's sports. It does. It's like if I'm sword fighting, right? And, or better yet, no, let's say I'm dueling, okay, with, like, I don't know, let's say a fencing sword, one of those fencing swords. And I say, well, let's bring an actual sword to the fencing fight. And people are like, you can't do that. That's illegal. But like, well, it's what I did in my previous sport. You know, I was able to handle this in my previous sport. You know, it's like you bring in a bigger tool to the whole deal. And it's unfair because it's still the structure, like I said, of a man. And so it adds a severe disadvantage. So there was an Olympic athlete, I believe, I don't know if he or she was in hurdle, but they were disqualified. They were told that they could not participate in the event because they were a man. They were previously a man, and I believe yes, his or her name is CC Telfer. CC Telfer. Transgender American runner ineligible to compete in Olympic trials because she is transgender and was previously a man. Which, yeah, that is physical contribution, physical performance to gain a reward or an award. Meaning that it's running to gain points to get a medal and gain respect to your country. And why should you rob someone who is has fair attributes than the rest to participate and rob them of a medal when you clearly have an unfair advantage? So transgender athletes in general have a somewhat unfair advantage. Now I understand, you know, it's a bigger challenge, I feel, because women are not born with strong body structures like us men are. And that's not being sexist at all. That's just evolution. If you have a problem with that, take it up with evolution, not me. But if you have a woman who changes herself into a man, she gets rid of her business and, you know, attaches a male appendage, and she reduces her breast and tries to take pills and go through the change. Then that's more of a challenge on her still, because she's not fully going to get the physical attributes of a man unless she really pushes it, And it's going to be challenging for her to participate in male competition and into the male competitions, because males are going to have more of the advantage. Whereas vice versa, a man going into a women's sport, or a man that changes himself into a woman and goes into a women's sport it makes things uneven. I don't know how many different versions I can go into this with, you know, to say and explain that this is a clear unfair advantage and should not be tolerated. So that is my gripe about that. Keep it fair. If you're a transgender woman, if you're a man looking to change your gender and look to become a woman and become transgender, just know the precautions that come with it. Not just physical, but like other opportunistic consequences. Meaning you can lose a lot of opportunity out there because you want to switch over to a different sport and to a different team, and you want to change genders. Know that there's other consequences that go into play. There's other natural effects that take place with that. And if you don't like that, again, don't take it up with me. Take it up with evolution. So that's just how it is. That's just science. It's science. All right. Well, that will do it for this episode. I want to thank IPMNation.com's president and CEO, Matt Connerton, for giving us the spot. I also want to thank all you listeners for tuning in. Be sure to check out episode 24, where I will rant more about this voting bill being shot down. More updates on Trump's whining and Rudy Giuliani's griping, along with more updates on COVID-19 and vaccinations, new headhunt segments, and 2 more topics of my choice. That'll be episode 24, which will air next week, the 4th of July, Independence Day, at 10 a.m. on IPMNation.com. Also, don't forget to check out Matt Connerton's Matt Connerton Unleashed, weekdays at 4 p.m. on 95.3 WMNH and here on IPMNation.com. All right, on the behalf of Courtesy Call Podcast, I am your host, Scott Perry. Be kind, be mindful, and do your part. Have a good week. Off to Vermont.